party commence. All right, darlings, let me invite my guest. I am so excited for this one, y'all. Here we are. Hello, hello, dear friends. Let me know if you have tea with you or if you got dressed up. I like this to feel like a group activity. It is a tea party after all. Let's see if we've got our guest invite going. Let's see. Hello, Idan. I'm glad you're here with us again. Hello, Marina. Welcome to the Fairy Tea Party. I'm Fairy Best Life. I'm doing these weekly, although there'll be a little hiatus for the holidays, but then we'll be back and it'll be great. Okay, so let's see. Our guest has joined. Let me make sure that they've got the invite to be a host. Always learning in this in this world of technology. Okay, that should work. Hello, dear Dorian's Guild and Society. I see you, darling. I'm adding you. See if it's translated the invitation. All right, I'm gonna try it one more time. Oh,
Oh.
there you are. Oh, fabulous as ever. Hello, darling.
Hi,
Oh,
salutations.
so excited to have you. Oh my goodness. We are live.
Is the light very light? Okay, great.
Oh yeah, you're
That's
beautifully
better.
lit. You're glowing, in fact.
Thank you. I'm gonna turn
Glowing.
on. I wonder if I should put you on. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Give me a sec.
Sure
So,
thing, darling.
so your voice can be recorded on the computer. I'm gonna put it on. One sec.
Oh, I'm recording on my end, so you don't need to worry about me
Okay.
unless
No,
you want
I
to.
mean for my voice, right?
Oh yeah, just for you there,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give me a sec.
Ooh, little ASMR roleplay. No, looked like you were making me up. How are we doing, darlings? Oh, Maria says you look amazing. Hello, Gina. Ooh, we've got Joshua. Yay. Oh, I'm so glad we got so many magical folks. This is so exciting. Also, I make this announcement every time, but my cat will likely, all right, join us. Girl, every time. We do it every time. All right, darling, you got to get down though. The tea, the oracle cards, it's too much. It's too much. I'll have to give her her own tea party, so she'll have to always join these ones. That's your food. Go get it. Go get it.
Oh,
Yes. Okay.
all right.
Hello,
So
Sam. Happy here.
I don't think it connects on my JBL because it's live.
Oh,
But
gotcha. No worries, darling. I've
anyway,
got a little
all
mic
right,
here, so it's getting you.
all right, great. I'm
Are
ready.
you? Look at your vibe behind you. And those are real plants, right?
It's a yes, it's the whole
It's giving,
vibe.
ooh, it's giving like real foliage. I've got my pretend ones to remind me of the outdoors. But
Nice, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's fine too. It creates the look in how you call it. I got into plants at first because I wanted fresh air in my room, and so yeah, some plants create fresh, I guess,
yes, they do. That
oxygen. Yeah,
oxygen.
or whatever it does. Yeah, and so I started collecting them, and I became a plant daddy, and now I have 80 plants in their apartment. It
Eight
creates an
zero.
aesthetic. Yeah, they
Eight
keep making
zero.
babies too. Yeah, they make babies, and then I feel bad to throw it away, so I pot new ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, of course. Plant daddy. Always
Yeah.
provide. Obsessed. I am working on my green thumb. It's an aspiring journey. I am I am forever on, but I do love the plants. The plants love me too. I need to work on my plant mothering skills.
Yeah. I
So I
mean,
enjoy
you'll
them
get there
outside.
because I used to say I'm not good at it, and now I don't think I'm an expert, but I'm very good.
I mean, you keep popping out more, so
Yeah, yeah,
Penny with the mostest. I love it.
yeah.
Well, Harvey, I'm so glad that you're here with us for this tea party. I don't know if you have a beverage with you, but
Yes, I
if you
have.
do, we can do a little. Oh, yes, that is adorable. Cheers
Hello.
to you, darling. Once you've got your served up. Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy tea
Happy
party.
tea party.
Mm. Oh, I love it. You've even got plants on your tea. That's perfect. Oh, well, my darling, the creator of Dorian's Gilded Society, a place that upon moving back to New York City was like such an important thing for me to tap into, like because I knew you before I knew you, like I was a
Oh,
fan on the
oh,
interwebs. And as soon as I came back to New York, I was like, here's a person who is ensuring that there is a place for authentic expression and creativity and magic and fantasy and play popping up all throughout the city with your gilded events. And I would see pictures of people showing up in looks, like full looks, and like often in public spaces like parks and such. And I'm like, this is a whole moment that you are activating by your own, it seems just pure joy and want to do so, which is
yes,
so
yes.
epic and so inspiring. And so as soon as I got back, I was like, how do I get in on this? Because this is the society I want to hang with, and it is such a vibe. So I'm curious, like, how long has the Gilded Society been a thing?
All right, so officially it became a thing in May. Are we in 24? So May 22, 2022,
Mm-hmm.
officially. Uh, but I've always been the way I am for a long time, and I've only started doing that with the public because whenever I go out, and some people on the live probably watching me, we hang out and they see how I dress. People often say, "Where are you going?" And I would say, "I'm already here." And people would get confused. They're like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, I'm not gonna wait for my funeral to wear my three-piece suit. I'm gonna wear it now." And so, besides that, people also would say you should create events. We should hang out. We should dress up and do things. And so, therefore, I started doing that. And of course, funny thing is, I had to do self therapy about it. Most to all of these people never show up to any of my events.
They gotta be brave. They gotta be brave to show up and show out.
Yeah. But the caveat is new people like you who observed showed up. So those people who basically give me a push, I guess that's what their purpose were, to just give me a push to do it,
There we
although
go.
they wouldn't be showing up. But
I was gonna say everyone has a part to play, and some people are just that like, I see something for you. It's just for you though, not for me to join in, but it's for you. And I see this for
yeah,
you. You go do that. And we love them.
yeah.
We love them because it's hard to see ourselves. And I mean, Fairy Best Life was like given to me by my partner Max. They were just like, "You're out here living your fairy best life," and I was like, "I am, aren't I?" Like you don't say. So yeah, we love those people who can call it like they see it and
Yeah.
pave the way in that way. But so it's only been like about 2 years, which is a solid run, but for how much of a like splash it's made and like how much of a footprint I feel like you have, that's incredible.
Well, thank you so much. That's part of also that's part of my personality. So in the first 2 years, I just started putting things online. And by the way, if I was not creative, I always say I would not be on social media because I don't really care for those
Mhm.
things. But as a creative, I had to learn to show because prior to that, I didn't care. And then people
You're
keep
just living your
saying,
life.
yeah, and then people say show, and then I show for 1 year, and I started meeting new people who were saying, you got this talent in this thing, you got this talent in that thing. You could do this, you could do that. And so then a year, February uh 9th, maybe probably it was my first event. February 9th, 23 was my
Wow.
first event as a producer because I was like, oh, I can do something. And then I did it. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So epic. So like you basically you're saying like I was just living my life and people were like, you should invite other people to live this luxury too. And you're like, okay, so I'll do event hosting and event production. But
Yeah.
like you just living your best life. Like you're also a designer, right? You like
Yes,
often seems just your own get up and garbs.
right. So my personality is it's not a problem for me, but some people could be a problem for them, which is, people don't usually mind their business. I'm an extremist and I'm a perfectionist. And
Okay.
it works for me. If I do something and you came to my event, so you saw and also other events and my clothing, anything I do, I have to do it to the max. If I don't, I don't feel satisfied.
Hmm.
So, but even in my events, some people, or my clothing, some people might be like, oh my God, that was so incredible. To me, that was 50%. Funny thing is, I failed every event
Oh my God.
and I
I feel like
failed
that's the way
every
of events.
costume.
The creative's plight is always striving for better, for more.
Right. Yeah. So I do enjoy that. But because people are not in my head, they see it and they think it's the best, and I'm like, oh well, you haven't seen anything yet because to me that was subpar.
Like you don't
Um,
even know.
yeah, so yeah,
I love it. I mean, because I mean, you always are bringing out the looks, and it sets the bar for people to like have that permission to also like go full out, like to make something from scratch or to like thrift something or put something together or like go out and find a thing that they're like, I've never had any reason to wear something of this like
yeah,
this level, this eccentricity, and then you're there and you're like, well, guess what? I'm hosting a picnic. There'll be croquette, there'll be games, there'll be a buffet, there'll be props. You can take all the photos, but you also get to meet people who are like just as, down for this eccentric play as you are. And I feel like that already sets the stage for like an event of what I like to say, like kindred spirits, right? Where
mhm,
like I already know I'm gonna meet people that I vibe with
right,
because they saw this and they're like, there's a part of me that wants to be accessed and have room to like express, and this is the safe space to do that. And
right,
like, yeah, your event, I got to take part in the witches convent. It was
yes,
a Halloween event. It was black and red themed, and like everybody turned out looks. There was candelabras. We were like in the middle of Prospect Park, and like it was honestly the best thing to watch people like on their bike ride or on their dog walk and just be like, what have we stepped
what's going
into?
on?
Like fully a portal. Like, and we were tucked behind trees too. You picked out the best spot. It
Yeah,
was like in a really like trafficked area, but yet tucked in trees. So it was like fully its own like little like portal spell.
yeah,
And to just be a part of that, and like everyone who showed up got to be a part of something so special. And then we got to then be and serve as that like beacon of what's possible to the people that were kind of strolling by and just being like, ooh, it never would have
yeah,
dawned on me to do that or go to something like
right,
that, right?
right,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's so
One
amazing.
of my, as you're saying that, one of my companies is, oh, I don't have tagline here. Where is it? Oh yeah. So one of my companies, which is a day in my life with bunnies, something else, but it says our vision and goal is to promote a better living through storytelling, song, inspirational memes to
Oh,
inspire people to do what inspires them. So it's like I get inspired by others, and then if others get inspired by me, that's great as well because it started from a source and it keeps going this way. So you being in my event, actually, you are a big part of it. It's a collab, and I was so grateful that a talent like you wanted to be part of it. And I get inspired by your I call it bravery because as an artist, it takes bravery to show yourself and then amongst maybe criticism. And sometimes if
Mhm.
you're not strong enough, we get beaten down by
Yep.
it. But then we learn to be like, you know what? I don't care how you feel because I was born with this, so I'm gonna show. And so
Yeah.
everyone that took place in the event have different skills that I don't have. And so it created the whole, and I was so grateful and inspired by everyone in there, even people who were participants. I get inspired by them even trying to putting something together because sometimes people say they don't have clothes. They'll message me and said, hey, I don't have this, but I have black clothes. And I said, as long as you're gonna enjoy yourself, show up. Of course, it's a theme event. It's what's that word called?
Encouraged theme or
Encouraged. Yes, yes. It's encouraged to do it, but if you don't, still show up, and maybe next time you'll be inspired to. And I've had people that actually bring it next time because they're like, okay, now I know.
yeah, now I get it. Now I've seen the lay of the land.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally. And I think that's such a beautiful thing too about events. It's like it's not just the host or the like people participating as performers or like, vendors. It's like the people who show up are adding to the space. And that's something that's so cool about live spaces. It's like the energy that's created, the portal that's created is very much a one-of-one experience because of who's there. And if you bring yourself because you vibe with it, like that's enough. Your energy is enough.
right.
But
That's why I make sure I speak to every. I'm not so huge yet, but when I'm huge, maybe I won't be able to. But it's small enough that I make sure I speak to everyone, at least say hello, say thank you, and chat
mhm.
because they are important being there. And I've gone to other events that actually I don't go anymore. But when I went there, I felt like the host is like clicky and
Mhm.
talking to their friends, and then they just bypass you. And I understand if it's a 200-person event, that's expected. But
Mhm.
like under 50 people, it's like, so I make sure, a thing I do in my life, I make sure what I don't like, I don't become. So
Mm.
I'll go to an event and I see a host being cliquey and not caring who's there because they're like, "Ooh, I'm important and I'm throwing an event." And so I'm like, I don't want to be that person because I don't like that energy.
Hmm. I love that. I love how intentionally you're like, I am crafting who I'm becoming. And I know I'm not taking that, but I'll take this and I'll take that, and we're gonna leave that over here, and we're gonna go this like that intentionality. I feel like is honestly why like meeting you, I was like, this person is iconic, like fully an icon, like, and to know that like you've been this way. Now you're just sharing
Yeah,
yourself with the rest of us,
sharing.
And I feel like that is such a beautiful gift to like not only show up in your most authentic, but then sharing it so that people also get a sense of like this could be you if you
Mhm.
want it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, not a replica, but like you and your own version,
Right.
like fully bloomed and fully realized, and sharing of yourself in that way.
Right.
I feel like that's, every time I wear wings, it's like, yeah, we can wear wings in public if you want, like if you identify with the winged creatures, but like doing so and standing in that power for me has helped. I mean, I've heard it has helped others find that permission within themselves to really like, yeah, explore and express, which,
Right.
yeah, you are such an icon for, which I kind of want to ask, like, who, if any, like, were your icons? Like, because I feel like you are you're the character in like a movie who like changes the person's life when they see them walk by. It's just
Yeah.
like, who are they? What are they all about? Like, what is their story? I need to know them. And then over like one conversation over coffee, like the protagonist's whole life has changed because of having stumbled across you. Like I feel like you possess that. And I'm just curious, like, did you just come out that way? Like you just like knew, like
Absolutely.
I'm gonna pave my way, and
When I came out my mother's room, it was confetti first.
I had a feeling. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Understood.
Then
You had a
I
top
was
hat already, so
glistering with glitter. Anyway,
of course.
Well, when it comes to icon, funny thing is, I don't follow celebrities or icons because I know it's a little strange, but a short story is that I see everyone, we all different and but we all equally different and special differently. It's an oxymoron, I like to say. It doesn't make
It
sense or a
makes
paradox.
all the sense. It makes
Yeah,
all the
okay. So the everyday person is my icon. I see someone down the street, and I'm a researcher. I like to observe. I'll look at somebody, even if they're not wearing the most fashionable thing, but I look at them as a being of expression
hmm
because as beings, we all express. Also, with that expression, we want to be seen.
Yeah.
Although I like to say I'm an introvert. People don't believe me. I'm an introvert, and when I have clothes on, uh, people anyway, people think I'm like showing off or I'm wearing this. I want attention. I think people don't want attention. They want to be seen. If that makes sense.
Mm,
They're both two things are different.
yeah.
Like yes, was it yesterday or the other day? I went to a birthday party. To me, I was wearing normal clothes, but apparently it was like a fashion runway for some.
Of course.
And so I was, I was hoping I was like this. Please, I hope no one give me attention because
Mm,
it kind of like I'm grateful for it because some people give me compliments and they're nice toward me. I don't get any. I get stares, but I don't get anyone who bash me with their eyes or with their hands, whatever, or with their words. But funny thing is, a lot of time I'm like, I don't want anyone to notice because everyone is usually just looking. It's like I'm on a, let's say for like a movie, I'm at the end of the train, and instead of everyone's minding their business, everyone's looking. And
mhm, mhm,
I'm kind of tired of that. And
mhm.
sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm such a bitch. Why am I like whining about that? It's kind of like
I
a balance. I'm like, why am I complaining that for looking? Because people who, when they don't look at them, they say, I wish people looked at me? So I'm like battling in between. I'm not seeking attention as most being want to be seen, but I will just want to be seen mostly for my spiritual work and my inside, what's inside
mhm,
of me. Because my
mhm.
friends, as I mentioned privately, people who know me personally, they call me Zen. So when we hang out, they actually hang out with my heart and what's inside of me. And
Um,
people who don't know me, they see the exterior, which is applicable because unless you hang out with someone, then you don't really see what's inside. So once people who are my friend, like my bestie Marina, hi Marina, like when we hang out, actually they hang out with Zen. They don't hang out with Dorian
mhm.
because people who don't know me, they see Dorian dressing up, you know. Anyway,
Yeah. No, you said so many things, which thank you also for sharing so vulnerably and so
yeah.
heart-forwardly. I love that about you.
So everyone
And
is my icon. You're my icon. When I see you, I take inspiration from you, and also the support too. Like people who see me doing something, and then they're like, "I'm here for
mhm,
you." I think that's
mhm.
better than attention. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this concept of seen as opposed to like gawked at, right? Like I heard from you like seen is more so like understood or like recognized but not necessarily like revered necessarily, like like you don't want this pressure that comes with the attention, but there's this like aspect of like I'm doing this for me because this is how I express, this is my deepest truest way and like how I want to experience this world, and so that's what I'm doing. But the moment it becomes like objectified, the moment it becomes like it's for you, it's like
Right.
no, this is for me. And I feel like so many people can relate to various aspects of that. Like for me, like, I mean, there's plenty of ways, but singing is something that I've been recognizing more deeply, like, started to become that. Like, I would sing all the time around the house, like, I just wanted to sing all the time. Like, I loved channeling like that. I loved just making things up as I was going through life as a child. And then because I was doing so much and because people could hear that I did have this gift, then it became like, oh, come sing for so and so. And it was like, I don't know what to sing. I forgot how. Like, what do I sing? Or like, or like, oh, you have to try out for the chorus solo. Oh, you have to be the lead in the play. Oh, and then it became this like pressurized thing. And it's like, I actually just like singing. And then the really sad thing was like, I just stopped singing. I was like, oh, I'm it's now so much pressure. I'm only gonna do it if I'm like on a stage or if I'm recording for this thing or if I'm pursuing this very particular goal, career thing. Like, and I just stopped singing like around the house or like for fun or for play because I was like, oh, God forbid somebody hears like me mess up a note. It's like all I'm good for is singing. We can't just let it out, let it fly. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've been like slowly finding my way back to like, no, it's for me. I like
Yeah.
singing. I like making
Yes.
melodies and like, and even like this Faye like being within me, like the name Fairy Best Life. I put on the wings and then I'm Fairy Best Life, but I personally identify as a fairy. And
Mhm.
so when I go out and I especially am going out in places that I don't know are necessarily going to be like my people. So like
Mhm.
your events, I know I'm going to find, some of my people, but like others, I kind of hold within myself like, okay, I'm a fairy stepping into this space. Like I'm gonna hold on to that, and I try to have some sort of like boon that keeps me like with that comfort of knowing that I know my truth, regardless of
Yeah.
what people might project on me. And so like whether that's like wearing glitter on my face or I have like butterfly clips in my hair or something, there's something visually that like allows people to see me in that way.
Mhm.
Like understand like okay, there's something.
Right.
What I don't know exactly. Does she think she's a fairy? We don't know. But like there's something that can allow them to like start to understand who I am on the inside so that I don't have to do so much explaining or so that I don't have to feel like it almost creates the safe space for me by
Yeah.
like presenting in the more enchanted way. Because then yeah, it's like it gives them a little head start, a little hint as to who and what I resonate with.
Right. And just because you are the way you are, you don't want to get out the house. At least that's my, I don't want to say struggle, but something I'm figuring out. Um, for example, I went for Easter parade and then people were tugging on me for pictures. And at some point, I was just like saying no to almost
Mm,
everybody because I'm like, I'm just enjoying my day. I didn't come here for you. I'm thinking because I'm like, I've had it. And then some guy was just like, well, if you don't want your pictures, why did you dress up like this? And right, the audacity and the automatic uh thing I was thinking of when guys would tell women, if you don't want to get hate on, why you dress up like this? Like,
yeah,
who the F? Like,
yeah,
what with these people? And so I would tell people sometimes, I'm like, you wearing clothes, I'm wearing clothes because we cannot be naked, and so therefore we're wearing clothes. And the way you choose to wear your clothes is either your style or what you want, and that's all it is. It is clothes. Yeah, I do appreciate the kind hearts who see it. Let's say if I saw you on the street, I'm sure you'll be appreciated. You feel inspired. It's like we'll smile and things like that. But most people actually, it's like they want to question you.
mm,
You weird or you're different and all this stuff. That's the attention part. I'm like, I didn't put on a wig to get your attention.
hmm
It's just how I feel today. And then I dress this way, just like you felt like to wear muumuu and Crocs, and no one cared.
and that's just you, boo. That's
Yeah,
just
and
you.
then you wearing your Crocs, who cares? Because I know I mentioned that because I know a lot of people hate Crocs in public and they get so butt tight about it. And I'm like, who cares? No one's paying their bill. Why you care so much?
Right.
But if you feel inspired, fine. You can tell someone, I feel inspired, and that could make their day or your day. But wanting something from them because they dress a certain way or thinking there are something, like let's say you wear your wings all the time, someone might either feel, oh, and then they get inspired, or others might feel like, oh, what is this person doing?
It's like
And
it's
it's
not
the
Halloween.
latter, right? It's the latter that's like, mind you, business and have fun with your life.
Yeah, truly. I mean, like what you were saying about like everyone's an icon, like we're all like individuals and uniquely ourselves, right? Like I feel like that too is like the fact that there is such an attention warranted of people it living in their most authentic is already saying a lot, you know? Because like my dream, like what I often relate to the Fey realm as is this like this world where everyone is just so fully who they are. Like, so there isn't this like gawking, there's only an appreciation, there's a recognition or a reflection of various aspects of self, or there's a potential collaboration, or there's an honest exchange of like, I see you,
Yeah,
and I see you because I'm true enough in me to be able to recognize truth in another, like it's just
yeah,
this truly like heightened experience of individuality that then becomes this blanket of a collective that's just diverse.
mhm,
Like it's not so much like egoic as like individuals each doing their own thing. It's just individuals so fully in their authenticity that it's just this vibrant fey realm
yeah,
of like goblins and trolls and werewolves and vampires and witch and we're just all in our most magical, most powerful, and interacting in this space that just infinitely grows in its magic because of all that we bring to it
yeah.
as our
That would be
fully realized self.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it just?
And I'm glad to be brave and same as you to get out there and be ourselves because other people, I won't say I'm part of the fur community, but I know some people who are furries, and then they are being tainted with the sexual part of it, which is
Mm,
like I would say a 5% of that, but the
mm-hmm,
whole part is not. And so when they get out there being themselves, people are judging them, and the brave ones still doing it, but I'm sure some people out there, if they wore a purple wig and someone is like either give them bad attention, they went back to that cocoon.
yeah.
And I feel like that breeds mental illness. It's like, right?
Yes.
So it's like, or trauma, because why, if when I meet people, I do my best to leave them the way I met them or better, usually
Mm,
better, because people search me online or they find me or send me a nice message. And I'm like, wow, we only chat for 5 minutes. That's pretty cool that you felt that impact. And I think because I'm intentional, and if people are intentional, um, impacting others, then there will be less trauma and mental illness. Because the thing with mental illness is it's not like something that stays forever. Just like any illness, it can go away, or you can, it's kind of like a cold. Something will make it happen, and then it will go away with treatment. That's
mm,
my theory anyway, because I feel like sometimes I'll talk to someone and they feel great, and then they're not great because of how people treat them in their environment. But
mm-hmm,
if everyone else is supportive, kind, smile at them and saying you're doing good, or mentor them, then
mm-hmm.
the illness they had will go away because they're being supported and being kind toward, etc. So yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting because like I I mean feel like we all deal with various
Hmm.
mental health um
Right.
yeah, challenges.
Yeah.
Um and while there is like definitely like biological things that can like influence like certain challenges for people, there is so much. I mean, our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, and our spiritual bodies are all connected, right? Like they all influence each other. They're all like affecting one another. And so just like you said, like being able to have like true like loving, support, kind, like encouraging energy around you can do wonders. Like just having that emotional, spiritual support can then do wonders on the physical. The brain can do placebo effect miracles, if it's given like enough um if it's given enough nourishment, not just in the like tangible, like, fruits, vegetables, and hydration sense, but
Yeah.
like nourishment in that spiritual sense, nourishment in knowing that like it is held, and it's able to explore, and it's able to discover and make mistakes and then continue to grow and learn. And I feel like so much of the illness of mental illness in our, especially here in the Western world, like, is due to this like confined, suppressed experience of self that like we're all forced into. Like, I know for me, I found my fairy in my lowest point when I was like, actually, I don't know who I am. I don't even know what I want. This world doesn't make sense. Nobody knows who I really am because I don't even know who I really am.
Mhm.
And I've spent so long being this thing that was like basically made up of dots connected for me, from, life and society and this like trajectory that we all seem to be on. But like none of it's real.
Mhm.
All of it's made up by people that weren't me,
Yeah.
and like if I could just go back and find out, well, who is me? And like my honest very best life journey has just been understanding, like, what does my voice sound like? And what are actually the things that call to me and speak to me? And there's been so much that like has shattered, like the illusion of it has shattered. And like it's been really honestly earth shattering when illusions shatter, because it's like, well, this is what I've been looking at this whole time. What do you mean it's a mirage? Like, that's terrifying. And like honestly, it is terrifying. But then after the terror comes this like, oh, I can see this like true thing now. And now I can place that in this new puzzle that I'm like forming, this new mosaic that like is actually making more sense to me. And I mean, you're saying like bravery, being able to like really step into your own and show up in that way. Like, I feel like at a certain point it goes beyond brave, and it's just like it's for survival. Like, honestly, like if I didn't fully embrace fairy, like I don't know if I'd be here, y'all, for real.
Yep.
Like, and I feel like there's so many people who still don't know who they are, and it's a matter of time before they realize that. I mean, hopefully, I mean, ignorance can be bliss at times.
Yeah.
If they never realized that it was all a lie, but I feel like, at least for me, like so much of this, even this series, this Instagram live series of like connecting with people who have found their own voice, and are letting that shine and breathe and live, basically, representatives of the Fey realm as far as I'm concerned. Connecting with y'all so that people can start to either recognize reflections of each other, in each other, or inspiration, or just like giving them a moment to sort of just connect with themselves and be like, I wonder if there's a very best life version
Yeah.
of my best life that could
Mhm.
be that could still be discovered. And you mentioned being a researcher, self-proclaimed researcher, which I know you've mentioned before to me. It's more in this space of like always curious, right, and asking
Yep.
questions.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with, and you've always been that way.
Yes. And my earliest memory of myself is 3. Yeah, that's crazy. But I was actually also talking to somebody yesterday about a chart. I forget what the chart is called. There are 11 levels, and most people are at 3 and 4. And 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 is like survival mode. Let me do my thing and just survive. And 4 is being part of society and do what society says to do so you can move on and live. And actually living on 6, but mostly 7 is great, but it comes with responsibility. That's when you are on that level of starting to know who you are. And like you say, ignorance is bliss, but once you start to know who you are, it's good, but it comes with its own challenges. And so,
Can't be ignored at that point.
exactly, you cannot ignore, and if you do, you're gonna feel like a liar, and so you can't. And so I was explaining how, and in my research, from that thing where I read, and I also saw how I'm the person here, so I step out of myself to observe myself. And on level 7, I am the observer observing the observer. And
Ooh.
it can make someone go crazy. Like the mad scientists, that's who they are. They are 5 levels of the observer, and they're writing on the board like they're crazy, and they're like, "What is this? And how we become here?" And blah, blah, blah. I'm glad I'm not there. I hope I don't get there at all. So, but I'm on level 2, and I'm like, "Oh wow, this is what that is," and so it kind of like making sense, but I don't want to research too hard because I can just live in a moment as well. Because the research of like, who am I? What is this? Let me put myself in. Who is this person? So I'm on a level of you are me.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
let's say I don't want to talk about religion, but I grew up in religion. There's a verse that says something like, "Does a man love hate themselves so much to hurt themselves?" Something like that. No,
Mm-hmm.
or no man hates themselves so much to hurt themselves. So since you are me, in my best ability, I will never hurt you because when I
Mm.
see you, I see me. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like that. That's how far I take that verse, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because uh, because of the researcher, I pull things out. But most people would see it as, oh, you love yourself, so you're not gonna hurt yourself, but then you're gonna hurt somebody else. But no, if you love yourself, you cannot hurt someone else either because that person is actually you.
Yeah.
We are all one, but individual. Just like our hands is 5 fingers, but you take this out, your hand's gonna feel different. You can still manage, but it's gonna feel funny.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
all humanity, and then that's all humanity. Our whole body is all humanity, and you take something out, you might still function, but you're still gonna miss out on something.
You're still
So this
missing
is why when I meet people, they would tell me I need to start making screenshots. They would message me and they would tell me in person how they felt, and it tells me, it reaffirms that like, okay, I'm doing something good here.
it.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and also a lot of it is just me being naturally, and because they tell me now I'm doing it on purpose because now I have an online image and I don't want to F up stuff.
No, but your online image is what was built because of you being you, of you like knowing your truth and sharing that, which is beautiful.
Mhm.
And I'm not surprised that it's resonating with people because yeah, like you said, like we are all connected, and to get not to get too spiritual about it, but like there's science behind it
Yeah,
too. Like we are all connected. We are all reflections of each other and yeah, that's beautiful to take that because I think that is the core meaning of that verse. Like I don't know verses, but
yeah,
well, the one that you
yeah, yeah,
that you've named,
yeah.
of yeah, it's like similar of like what do unto others as you would want done unto you,
Right.
or something of that nature.
Yeah.
But yeah, because we are all connected. There is that universal truth that like keeps showing up places of this oneness,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's so true. And I feel like this it's funny, this aspect of being like the researcher, right? The one that's curious and asking questions and like always trying to puzzle out to see how the inner workings of the truth actually work, or mad scientist, if you will. Um, there's yeah, an interesting double-edged sword to that I didn't really process until you mentioned it because like for me it's like that inner child, like wonder, like always curious, like kind of allows you to explore unknowns without this like gripping fear or pressure because it's becoming an adventure. It's becoming like an
Yes,
unfolding that's exciting. And it's
exciting.
like that's great. And always being a student of life allows you to not be so um egotistical, like you know it all, it allows you to be open-minded. It allows you to like hear other perspectives and opinions and to constantly be expanding and evolving. And like so I'm like, yay, curiosity and wonder and research, like yes.
Yes.
And then also though, the double-edged sword of it all is like I once I had my awakening, I was like very much on that journey. I was like, let me find as much as I possibly can. Let me uncover as much. Let me shatter as many illusions as possible, one after another. I'm on a roll. Let's do it. And and then it got to be too much. And I was like, hold on. I've like activated superpowers I was not ready for. I'm seeing the truth of more than I actually think I can handle. Hold on, how do I reel it back? But then you can't. It's like once you've seen it, you've seen it.
Yes.
And honestly, like, very grateful to the support I had around me at the time. I went through or I guess I'm still kind of in my Saturn return. Just turned 30 this year. And it's
Happy
a,
birthday.
yeah.
Happy birth year.
It was in April, yeah. Thank you, darling. But yeah, it was like, perfectly on time, which I gotta say, like, getting more into astrology and the planets does wonders for your sanity because there are these huge behemoths in the universe that absolutely are affecting your day-to-day life. And like, if you just like acknowledge them, it gives so much rhyme and reason to why all things chaos are hitting the fan or why things are finally going smoothly or whatever. Anyway, I've taken to the planets quite often during the dark nights of soul moments just for some clarity on like, okay, I'm actually right where I'm supposed to be. Like, oh, this is actually exactly on the path of my my evolutionary journey. So we're good here. But yeah, when I was finding too many truths, I was like, okay, I'm gonna slow down. The present moment is great. I've learned a lot. I need to slow my roll because I will only actually be able to contain and receive what I'm ready to. And while that researcher, that curious, wondrous inner child me is still has like the keys to or the compass, I'd say, to where I'm headed, I definitely am taking more notice to like slow down and enjoy this ride. I feel
Yeah.
like that's the perfect balance of the two, right? It
Mhm.
keeps you from like going off the deep end and actually going mad at
Right.
that point. But
Then you're not
it
living in
allows
the
you,
moment anymore. You keep want to know what's going on. You
yeah,
can
keep trying to
do
uncover the
both.
rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that perfect balance is so important. And so I appreciate you calling that out because it got me thinking. Because yeah, I am such a like, oh my gosh, I need to know it all. I also am kind of a control freak perfectionist, but we're working on these things. I've gotten so much better. Um, but it's a thing that I feel like, there's always more to know, so I have to keep seeking it. But allowing to just be, and then seek a little and then just be. And it's like this constant like, you're gonna get there, you're gonna expand, but you don't need to like exponentially growth spurt,
Right.
That can be tough. That can be tough. But which also is why I do not own Moldavite, the crystal. Because I don't know if you've heard of this. Do you know the Moldavite
No,
crystal?
I don't know that.
Okay. It comes from outer space. It's like created by, I believe, a meteor hitting a certain. Anyway, it's a whole thing. Very like rare, very expensive, very powerful uh, alien crystal, basically. And it was like trending on TikTok at one point, but because it like circumvents your life if you are not in like the most aligned path, it'll like throw things into the fire for you kind of at once to realign you. But as a result, like you might lose your job, lose your life partner, lose your best. I mean, like
Maybe
it's that
yeah,
kind of.
maybe I need one.
No, no, no. I'm like I don't know if I need it all at once. That's not. I don't know if that's me. That's not me. That's we're talking about balance, right? We're talking about yes, curiosity, but presence. That's growth spurt. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, no, I feel you on that. Oh, we have a question. Recostuming and designing looks. What is a dream look you want to create?
Well,
That I'm throwing that to you.
if anyone watching who's a millionaire, I don't need a million. I just need 500,000. I love Game of Thrones. I love House of Dragon. I love Borgias, like TV shows. I
Yes.
love uh, Tutors. All these amazing. And recently I saw Wicked, and I'm like, I want a space to recreate all these outfits, all of them.
You just need to be sponsored, right? So just like,
Exactly. I can just be in my room creating amazing looks,
yeah.
and that's when I tell people, you haven't seen nothing yet. I'm doing things on a budget here. I'm doing things on a what's the thing called? On a Five Below budget. But get me that sponsorship. You'll see some House of Dragon outfits.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Given
I wore a
sales.
coat the other day by a designer. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I pronounce her name Galleria, but that's not how it is. But her outfits are actually in the movies. And once a year, she's so nice. She gives me 40% off. And I was only able to buy 3 of her coats, which cost a fortune, but I don't
You
regret
got
it.
'em. You got them.
Yeah. And the other day I wore one of these coats and my friend was like, "Is this warm?" And I was like, "This coat is so epic." Like all I wore was 2 layers under. It was like really warm and it was out of a Star Trek movie. And with money I can also support people like that
Yes.
because
I hope
making
so.
your own actually takes time and energy, and sometimes I cry. I feel so stupid saying that, but sometimes I get so frustrated after a week making something and I keep making mistakes. I get frustrated, but then eventually it creates.
Hmm.
And I think the frustration comes with my perfectionism. I'm like, this should work. And
Yeah.
because I think if I wear it in public, everyone's gonna be, oh my God, this is amazing. But in my head, I'm like, no, it's fuck. Excuse me. You can beat that. That's a
It
perfectionist
could have
part.
been better.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I totally hear you. But like, it's so funny because it's like, yeah, I want to be in a world too where like we're all supporting each other, including wearing each other's epic garments
Yeah,
at discounted prices so that they can live a life beyond the, the screen or the stage.
yeah,
And yeah, I just in general like yeah, artists supporting artists and also sharing the wealth in general. So if we have millionaires out there or half a millionaires, our friend here just needs $500,000. Or have you ever thought about going on like, is Project Runway even still a thing? I don't know, one of those like shows. Like
right. I don't know if it's still a thing, but funny thing is, also I was talking to somebody else the other day, because people will, most people who don't know me, they'll see me and they see all my stuff and they'll give me compliments and say, why aren't you this? Why aren't you that? I have been an entrepreneur and like a lot of jobs that I have, I see clients and I basically feed myself.
mhm.
For since 2003, for almost like, was that 20 years? Over 20 years.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm not saying that as a victim. I'm actually grateful for for people saying no to me. A lot of the work that I do to feed myself or I have a roof over my head is because I had to do it myself.
Mhm.
I make outfits from, um, I have a vision and then I do the pattern and then I create everything. I learned through trial and error and through YouTube. I went,
Yes, YouTube EDU.
yeah, and I applied for MassArt. I'm from Boston. MassArt for 3 times. They rejected me. Um, Also, I've applied to be a event producer assistant because I want to work with somebody to learn the ropes. No one would hire me, so I created my own. So almost everything that I do in this life, and I'm grateful for the jobs here and there I've gotten. I'm grateful for that, and the clients that I've gotten as well, is self-taught. And I'm grateful for being self-taught and being strong mentally and with also with my skills. But at the same time, when I'm feeling mentally weak, it feels a little sad of like, wow, like I went for this so many times and no one would hire me, and someone with no talent. People with no talent would be like, why you did this without school? And then I'm grateful, I'm happy for them. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, um, not in a bad way, y'all, not in a bad way, but because we all have our
Talent.
judgmental thoughts. And I'm like, wow, that's so mediocre. And then you working. I'm happy for you working, but we often think of ourselves as well. I'm like, why? And people keep praising this, and no one will hire this as a event producer, or no one will hire me as making clothing, or my self day job. I'm a professional organizer and designer, and I get clients that way online. But initially, I wanted to work in a house where I can be one of the professional organizers, and no one would hire me for that. So I had to create my own. And also recently, as of this year, I'm a what's that thing called? I forget the word. Um, oh, I'm a life coach. I decided to be a life coach because so many people have come to me online and in person. They talk to me and they like. I studied psychology. I wanted to be a therapist, but that didn't happen because I was just like, I didn't want people's problems. But eventually, I was just like, maybe I should tap into my calling because so many people also keep saying you should be a life coach, you should be a psychiatrist because they spent like 5 minutes or whatever, how long they spend with me, and they want more of it. And so I was like, you know, I'm just gonna do that. So I've been doing researches and I've been doing training, and I'm like, that's another thing where I can do. And I don't mind having so many. And I think some people will make people feel bad saying that, uh, you know, when they say you're jack of all trades, master of none kind of a
I
thing.
hate that.
And right, I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, this is 2024. This is not 1980 or 50s anymore where our parents had to work a job for 50 years that they hate just for security. Let's just say, just you can replace the word God with anything you like. Let's say God gives me all the skills and the drive and all the artist things. I'm lost of words that I'm able to do. So why should I be like, my first job was a pharmacy tech. Why should I be a pharmacy tech for 50 years of my life? That's not my calling. Where obviously I'm good with event producing, I'm good with making clothing, I'm good with fixing someone's life, like organizing their homes.
Yeah.
And I started to choose doing those things because I started accepting myself and be like, I know it's a challenge to make money in doing those things, but money is not life. Money is just a tool to put a roof over my head and feed my belly. And I'm gonna live my authentic life. And yeah, I'm not making six figures yet, but I'm very grateful and happy where I'm at as well. Because some people who make six figures are not happy. Some may be happy. I'm happy for them, but to each their own. But I also know if I make that six figures, I'm still gonna be the authentic, happy person that I was making 54 a year.
Killing it. Killing it, baby. But honestly, living your best life. Like I was gonna say, like you're a multifaceted being, just like everybody else is. And like as such, yes, let your gifts sing in the various fields and like, contribute to, these different walks of life as they relate, to those that need a design, to those that want to attend an event, to those that need some coaching, like their lives need to get together, like
Yeah.
I mean, if you have these facets of your person that like are naturally, naturally gifts, like yes,
Right.
lean into them. It's definitely like of course, like you said, like not the entertained way. And Gina, actually, thank you for pinging Gina that the quote, the Jack of all trades quote, is actually there's a longer quote, but I think it says something that the first half of it's the one that made its rounds,
Yeah.
the one that where it ends on like master of none, because I do remember that it extends to then like come back around to the Jack of all trades, but that
Usually when
first
I hear
part,
people use that, it's usually a negative connotation. It's kind of like
exactly.
choose one thing, and I'm like, no, there's more than 300,000 different ants. My numbers could be wrong. Like the universe didn't create five ants.
Right.
There's so many. Like, why should I limit myself?
Yes, we're limitless. We
Yeah,
are limitless. Exactly. I feel that 100%. And I honestly, like, I'm so glad you brought that up because it's like, yeah, this, like, again, projected false truthhood of we need to choose one
yeah,
if we're gonna, like, be successful. And, like, what even is success? A successful life to me and you feels like the one that's the most
yeah,
authentic, that you can still have, again, a way to feed yourself, shelter
yeah,
from storms, um, which obviously, like, what that looks like can shift and change based on, yeah, how much abundance comes your way, how many opportunities, pan out and whatnot. But oh, I think maybe Gina answered the rest of it. But oftentimes, okay, so it's like jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than the master of one. Okay. So again, the fact that they cut off, or that the world has forgotten about that second half and zeroed in on the first half is just like case in point of the brainwashing.
right, right.
Anyways,
Yes,
just to put that little piece. So yes, we are here, friends, to remind you that there is more. There is more than what they presume there is. There's more to you, and you can go as deep as you want, but you don't need to rush it. Enjoy this present moment,
yeah,
and also like have fun being curious, right? Like explore yourself, explore these new walks of life. Like you didn't like wake up knowing life coaching, but you're recognizing this calling and
yeah,
you're like, yeah, I'm curious. Like, let's follow
right,
that. Like,
right.
also same, like the life coaching thing. Like, I realized I was doing that for like all my life for best friends, family
Yeah,
members. Like, and
that's
it's
when it
just like,
starts
oh, this
too.
is a gift.
Yeah.
Like,
Same with my
yeah.
organizing. I was doing it for so many people, and then they refer me to their friend, and I was doing it for free for their friend. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm really good at this. And it's another opportunity. Or let's say if I listen to other people who wanted to put me down, like the crab in a barrel, that says, oh, you're a certified technician, keep that because that's safety. Yeah, I
Mm,
appreciate that. That's safety as well. But then all these gifts that I have, this is why I said it can create an illness. You start not believing in yourself, not liking yourself, being jealous of other people who are doing what you wanted to do because you decided not to do it because you listened to the wrong people.
mhm,
That's
mhm,
what creates the illness. I said that I would tell people sometimes, like when we're talking, not officially coaching, and I said, if you choose, you can still do what you're doing, but choose something else that you really wanted to do it and go for it. You can see so many things like a ache in your brain will go away,
mhm.
and not caring what other people say. As even when they say unless you pay my bill, don't tell me what to do. Even someone's paying your bill, do what you want to do. Kind of a thing,
Yes,
it's like that's
it's
and of
your
course the
sanity.
balance too. Like some jobs I go to, I take this off because they don't want earrings. But when I'm done on my clock, I put my earrings. Life
Mhm.
is a balance. Um, and which is a good thing. We cannot do everything we want to do because again, I am you, you are me. There's other people in our lives, and it's a good balance that way because I cannot do what I want to do in your life,
Mhm.
vice versa.
Mhm.
So that's why there's a good balance. If I go in your space and you have certain rules, and if I want to be in that space, I follow those rules.
Yeah.
Like it's an exchange, and it's like so. And I think that's a key. Do your best to live your life as long as it's not hurting you and others around you, because and actually, my theory is when you don't do your best in your life, you're actually hurting yourself and others because that's when you do the blow up, the jealousy, the whatever it
And the
is, lack of words.
suppression that creates the illness too.
Yep.
The suppressing of self and your truth.
Yeah, suppressing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
that's why, like, sometimes people will look at me curiously, and I'm like, good, maybe I'm planting. I'm not doing that on purpose, but for them, they're planting a seed on themselves. And the ones who may look at me like I'm not in their heads, but I'm assuming they're like, look at this gay guy, whatever. to each their own. Maybe someday they'll feel that emotion they have is negative toward themselves. Because
Mm.
I put my clothes, I keep my head down, I mind my business. Why are you grumpy? It's like
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with you. Yeah, we are connected, but at the same time, take that connection and feel good because I'm feeling good.
Mhm. You're wasting energy in
Yeah,
that negativity. We don't need it.
yeah. When I put my uh John Fluvog's high heels and I'm parting the sidewalk like
Mm.
Moses on
Mhm.
the sea. Like I feel good. It's like a runway, and I'm like, bam, 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 bam,
Yes.
bam, and I think the right people feel it, but the people that suppresses themselves are the one that are angry at me secretly. But
Yes.
they're angry at themselves because they suppress themselves, and that's the illness. That if everyone decided, or majority people decided to be like, you know what, I'm gonna live my life, then therefore they're gonna leave other people alone.
Because they'll be so full by their own life that they're creating
Yes,
for themselves.
yes,
And I feel like, yeah, just because I'm mindful of time too, like, I love this concept of also creating your own opportunities, right? Like, not waiting or not um, compromising yourself to a point that no longer feels safe or no longer feels true or aligned. Like, obviously, making some accommodations just to keep a balance, right? But,
right,
like, this, like, integrity of self and also this, like, empowerment of self, being like, you know what? If they don't see it for me, I see it
yes,
for me. So I'm gonna build it.
yes,
I'm a creative for myself. And I feel like that's such a key aspect of walking this authentic life is like recognizing that you are capable
mhm,
of those deep
yes,
desires and to carve out and design a life by your design.
yeah,
Is to have that faith in yourself and to consciously and intentionally step into those opportunities or creating them for yourself. I
right,
feel like that's like something that's definitely allowed, like for me, like Fairy Best Life to even come into fruition. It's like often just like, yeah, making an opportunity for a fairy to perform, right? I like reached out to them
yeah,
and said, hey, this event could use a fairy perform mayhaps if you have room for me to sing some songs. And you're like, oh my gosh, of
yeah.
course. And then
Oh, I
an
felt so
opportunity was made.
honored. Yes,
I mean,
like,
the honor was
little
mine.
me, really?
It was so special, honestly, so magical. I mean, our paths were bound to cross the kindred spirit way of it all.
Yeah,
But you're creating portal opportunities and like, I know I say portal a lot, but it's this pop-up experience that you then walk away with a little bit of, even after it disappears, the
mhm,
ephemeralness of it. And yeah, I just feel like it's so important to recognize that we each have that power to create the space
right.
that we feel safe in, or that we can feel like we can really express ourselves or try aspects of ourselves out, for a spin.
Yeah,
Which I love that you do it so effortlessly, and I know that it's very effortfully to a degree. There's intentionality behind it. There's confidence and faith in yourself behind it. But you're doing it with flying colors, and it's such an honor to know you. And I'm so excited for all the ways that we're going to continue to make magic together.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
very grateful.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know I probably talked too much. I don't know if you asked all the questions you needed to.
Honey, I said this was tea time. I have like some guiding questions, but like we just vibing.
Okay.
We are vibing. And also this is not our only tea time because I mean, who only does tea time once?
Yes, yes.
We'll get to do it again. But yeah, I'm so grateful to you. Your spirit is so powerful and I'm so glad that you out there living your best life
Yeah.
and
Well,
inspiring others to do the
and
same.
I'm grateful for people like you, and also grateful for the people who said no. I know it's tough, and the only tough part is basically it's like if I want to pay rent, I'm like F, now I have to work harder and do this and that and string some money together. And if one person would say yes, that would be easier on myself. But overall, it's kind of like when they say it's a gift and a curse, but it's mostly a gift. If I want to stay on the positivity of looking at it as a gift, every year there's a theme in my life, and last year's theme, 22 or this year, I'm saying last year. We're not even 25 yet. This year's theme for me has been choose joy. Whenever I feel down or have a victimhood thinking or saying, oh, only if, or I'm like, choose joy. And you know who are my inspiration? When I take the subway and I see we all seen them, a really dirty homeless person on the floor, and then they're still living. Life is so enduring. They're still enduring and living. And I look at myself and I'm like, choose joy. So I'm grateful that's my theme for this year. 2025, I don't know what the theme is yet. It's like I don't choose it, it just happens.
It'll come.
So yeah. That's that. Because I choose joy, I get to live however life brings me. And because of that, you recognize that, and then we match together. Yeah. Because if I was some grumpy OB, like even I'm like, I'm not gonna be talking with that guy. So
the kindred spirit would have been hidden. Hidden from view.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like that's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much, friends, for joining us. If you remember anything, choose joy. Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much, Herbie. Dorian's Gilded Society will be making portals, I'm sure, again soon, maybe when it's warmer outside.
Yes.
So make sure you're following them because, I mean, yeah, they're magical spectacle events and you want to be part of it. If anything else, just to explore aspects of yourself that maybe you haven't before. So
thank you,
definitely
Best Life. Appreciate you.
Thank you, darling. Enjoy your evening, lovelies, and we'll see you for the next one. The next tea time will be next week. I'll share about it soon, but have a good night, darlings. Bye.